ARA City Radio.
Madden, a singer-songwriter and recording artist from the UK who was recently in Luxembourg on a short tour, playing in a few venues around the country. Hi Mike, thanks for joining me on the call today.
Absolute pleasure.
How have you been recently? What's new in your world?
Well, since I came over to Luxembourg, which was absolutely brilliant, I had such a good time there, as always actually. That was part of me completing a music performance degree, so very much aimed at building up music performance for the industry. And that ends in 4 days' time. So I'm in absolute mental mode at the moment.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks for taking the time to have this call in amongst all that. For any of our listeners that haven't heard your music yet, though, could you give us a bit of an introduction to the music that you make? How would you describe it? And maybe you could give us a little bit of background about how you started making music and what's led you to the point where you're at now.
Where would I put it? It's better to put it where other people have said my music fits. I'm a great fan of Passenger, great fan of Ed Sheeran. Not so much when he goes up to the hip hop sort of style of it, but all the way up to that. I think unashamedly folk-influenced pop is probably where it sits. Basically, a classic singer-songwriter. I like writing about, as best I can, real things or things we've all felt, and then conveying that in a way that people actually can enjoy and possibly tap their feet. I had a guy at one of the gigs in Luxembourg who spoke to a very good friend of mine, Helen, and said he couldn't come up to me and thank me for one of the songs because it's lovely, but because he'd cry if he came and talked to me about it. Now, for a songwriter to touch someone like that is amazing, and I think it's actually a song that I've sent over to you that you were looking at playing. It's a beautiful song, but to have another person react like that is just wonderful.
Yeah, sure. Well, we are currently on a Zoom call, so I can see you in your studio right now. You've got your guitar set up behind you. I can see a vocal booth there. Do you record all of your own music yourself?
Yes, I get great assistance on the EP that I'm literally releasing, and the track we've talked about is literally its worldwide premiere. So I thought I'd give you that. All recorded. In some work in another studio, but a lot of it recorded here. Certainly I record most of my stuff here. The technology that's available now is on a par with studio technology. And you can just do much, much more these days.
So you've released an EP called Journey, From There to Here, which came out in 21. You've also put a couple of singles out then, and then you just mentioned there you've got a new EP coming out, is that right?
Yeah, it's a funny one because Journey From There to Here came out last year in 21, and we had COVID, of course. It was effectively the best that could be done then, but there were limitations. I had to do everything. I'm not a drummer, and I had to do the drums. I'm not a bass, and I had to play bass. And what I really wanted to do, this was a very important album to me, and I wanted to do it properly, like the absolute best it could be done. So what I've spent this year doing is basically from the ground up re-recording it. Everything's new, the vocals, everything. I've got a co-producer, Steve Bissett, who's helped me incredibly. So we've both co-produced it now. I've had live drummers, live bass, live instrument, and just the general mix. So it's actually Journey From There to Here, Mike's version, which is a little play on Taylor Swift and her recent re-recording of albums. But it's an album I'm very, very, very proud of, I have to say. And that's where we are this year.
And how did you find that process of going into the studio and re-recording the songs with other musicians? Did you find that it was... that you were okay with kind of letting them bring their own energy to those songs, or was it very much that you were kind of like guiding them through how you wanted them to record each part, having done it all yourself, previously?
Yeah, actually very, very happy to let go. Obviously guiding the overall shape of the songs because I know them inside out and what I'm trying to convey. But actually watching talented musicians take hold of their part of a song and giving you new sounds and new approaches it brought the song to life, and also just having someone else join in with something you're creating. I have to say, it's just brilliant. It's been an eye opener.
So what about when you play live? Are you mostly alone on stage, or have you played with a band in the past, or do you plan on doing something like that in the future?
No, I mostly play alone, unless very good friends of mine like Helen, who's in Luxembourg, jump on stage and join me with a magic tambourine, which happened at the Black Stuff, which was great fun. But no, it's a self-contained act, but again, it and I want to keep that relationship with the magic of being a singer-songwriter is the immediacy of it. There's nothing in between you. There's nowhere to hide. There's you, a microphone, and a guitar, essentially. But what I've been working on, and Luxembourg was very, very helpful in this as I did that tour, is bringing the technology that's available to enhance it. So you can now, I use loopers, which for anyone who doesn't know is essentially, it's still live, but once you click into a pedal, you can keep something you've played, keep going, and you can go on top of it. So you can begin to get full band sound, but it is actually you performing it live. And I think that's, these days, that helps because it gives you a wider sound and a bigger presence. And certainly I had such a good time at a couple of the venues. The Black Stuff, I used my full kit, and Cafe Cali, things like that. That was a little bit more held back,
right?
But absolutely, So it is in me on my own, but I'm widening. You'll hear the sound in the fully produced songs. I don't quite match that, but what you lose in that, you gain in immediacy.
Okay, brilliant. I was just about to ask about the tour, when you were over here, because you played in the Black Stuff, you played in the Calais Cafe in town, and then I think you also played in Vantage Music Bar. Is that right? Yeah.
Very, very, very. That was like almost a pre-tour quick play there, but I definitely want to go back. And the one that any of your listeners may want to help me possibly phone in is Beide Ulzek. I have no idea how to pronounce it properly. Right. So, a friend of mine, Tom, who lives in Luxembourg, is perfect in his pronunciation, but that's the best I can do anyway.
Okay.
Lovely. Fantastic gigs and lovely, big shout out for them for helping me arrange a tour at literally the last second. It was probably put together in a week, and then I was flying over to you guys.
Okay. Now, we're very lucky here at ARA because we've been given one of your songs to premiere someday soon. Is this going to be the first time that anyone's heard it? Or?
Yep, it's the very, very first time that anyone's heard the new re-released version.
Okay.
And I thought it would be quite nice to give it to you guys as a first off.
Yeah, well, we're honoured to host it. Could you tell us a little bit about this one, what it's about, and how do you hope people will react to it when they hear it?
I think in some ways everybody reacts differently. It's probably the most personal song I've written on the EP, and indeed probably ever. I was unfortunate to lose my wife 10 years ago. And part of my journey from there, I was a lawyer back then, to now a full-time musician. Part of that journey needed to be sort of remembered, is the best way I can say it. And that's it. I almost don't want to go beyond that. It's a song about that, and I think it's ultimately a hopeful song. But it's for everyone who listens to it to take from it what they do.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to play that song right now. A world premiere right here on ARA City Radio. This is Mike Madden and his track Someday Soon. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today, Mike, and best of luck with your future projects.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Memories fade like lost summer days, and the warmth and the touch of you. Her picnics we laid, and games that we played, they're drifting away like you. say life goes on like your favorite song, but this one's gone. My love, we'll meet again. My love, we'll meet again. Someday soon. Someday soon. Someday soon. Someday soon. I can still smell your hair and the perfume you wear. It feels like you're hiding just out of view. Though images blur, not sharp like before, I'll hold on to you once more, once more. They say life goes on like your favorite song, but this one's gone. My love, we'll meet again. My love, we'll meet again. Someday soon. Someday soon. Someday soon. Someday soon. My love, we'll meet again. My love, we'll meet again. Someday soon. 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 Someday I can still smell your hair.
ARA City Radio.